there is a number encoded in the oldest historical document ever written: 241,200. That is how many years the 8 kings before the flood ruled the earth, according to the Sumerian king list preserved on the Weld Blundell prism, currently housed in the Ashmolean Museum at Oxford University. Mainstream scholarship calls it mythology, but Mesopotamian scribes were not casual with numbers. Every single one of those 8 pre-flood rain lengths is divisible by exactly 3,600. 3,600, the Sumerian unit of cosmic time called the Sar. The same unit the Sumerian king list uses to measure every cycle of divine presence on earth. And when you calculate the next Sar cycle from the moment the creators departed, you get a number that is not in the past. Welcome to the Shadow Ancestral. Tonight, one document, one number, one pattern encoded in clay 5,000 years ago. Subscribe right now if you are new here. Every claim on this channel is sourced. Every tablet is real. There is no other channel doing this at this level. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Now, the Sar. The Sumerians did not count time the way we do. They used a base 60 mathematical system, the sexagesimal system, documented by scholars at the Oriental Institute of Chicago and the Penn Museum. Their unit of cosmic time was the Sar. 1 Sar, 3,600 years. Not an arbitrary number. 3,600 is 60 squared. The mathematical foundation of Sumerian astronomy. The same system that gave us 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 360 degrees in a circle. Now look at what the king list records for the 8 pre-flood kings. Alulim of Eridu, 28,800 years. 28,800 divided by 3,600. Exactly 8 Sar. Aljar of Eridu, 36,000 years. Exactly 10 Sar. Enmen Luana of Bad Tabira, 43,200 years. Exactly 12 Sar. Enmen Gal Ana, 28,800 years. 8 Sar. Dumasid the Shepherd, 36,000 years. 10 Sar. And Sipad Sidana, 28,800 years. 8 Sar. Enmen Durana, 21,000 years. Not an exact Sar number, but still divisible by 600, the Sumerian unit called the Ner. Ubaratutu, 18,600 years. Also a Ner multiple. 8 kings, 241,200 total years. Every number built on the same mathematical foundation. The LightNet academic analysis of the Sumerian king list, published April 2026, states this directly. Every one of those antediluvian rain lengths is divisible by 3,600, the Sumerian unit called the Sar, which also carried the meaning of cosmic totality. These were not years of a human life. These were Sar cycles, cosmic administrative periods, each one representing a complete rotation of the divine presence on Earth. Here is what most channels covering this topic never show you. The tablets do not just describe when the creators arrived, they describe when they left. The Sumerian lament texts, documented in the Penn Museum collection, describe the departure of the Anunnaki from their temples and cities in terms that are unmistakably final. The lament for the destruction of Ur, one of the most significant literary compositions in Sumerian, describes the divine assembly issuing a decree, and the gods abandoning their temples one by one. The LightNet analysis of the Anunnaki departure, drawing on documented Sumerian sources, describes what the lament texts preserve: the systematic withdrawal of beings who held power within certain cosmic domains, who withdrew when those domains became ungovernable, and left behind encoded survival knowledge to ensure civilization could rebuild without them. The clay is still speaking, for anyone asking questions precise enough to hear what ancient archives actually preserve. They did not vanish. They did not die. They withdrew, systematically, with administrative precision, leaving archives, leaving the tablets, leaving the Sar system encoded in the king list, so that whoever calculated the cycles would know when the next one was due. We are halfway through, and what comes next is the calculation. The Sar cycle applied to the documented date of departure. Subscribe to the Shadow Ancestral right now. Every episode on this channel is built from verified sources. Subscribe, hit the bell. Now, the number. The Sumerian king list documents the transition from divine rule to human rule as happening after the flood, approximately 3000 BCE, according to archaeological consensus. The post-flood kings in the king list begin with reigns of 1,200 years, then 960, then 900, collapsing rapidly toward human timescales. This collapse is documented. The divine presence was withdrawing progressively, each generation more human than the last. The final withdrawal, the moment the Anunnaki are no longer documented as active presences in Mesopotamian administrative records, corresponds to approximately 600 BCE. The fall of Babylon. The end of the Babylonian Empire. The moment Enki's temple at Eridu, which had been maintained for 5,000 years, went permanently silent. Now apply the Sar cycle. 1 Sar, 3,600 years. From 600 BCE, add 1 full Sar cycle of 3,600 years. 600 BCE plus 3,600 years. That brings you to 3000 CE. Add half a Sar, 1,800 years from 600 BCE, and you arrive at 1,200 CE, the midpoint of the cycle, the point at which, in Sumerian cyclical thinking, the next phase begins to initialize. The Sumerian omen system, which we covered in episode 4, described every major crisis as a signal within a cycle, not a random event, a marker, indicating where within the cycle the world currently sat. The mathematical structure the Sumerians embedded in their most important document does not name a calendar year with the precision of a modern clock, but it encodes a framework precise enough that anyone who understands the Sar system can calculate the window. And that window, according to the cycle documented in the king list, is not thousands of years away. It is measurable in the lifetime of people alive right now. The tablets do not only encode the departure, they encode the expectation of return. The Erra Epic, a major Babylonian text, asks its central question in present tense, not where were the 7 sages? Where are they? Present tense, as if the scribes who wrote it believed the answer was not gone forever, but somewhere specific, waiting for a specific condition to be met. We documented that condition in episodes 8 and 11. The water returning to the threshold of the Eab Zu at Eridu. The marsh that had dried when the divine presence withdrew, beginning to recover. The UNESCO documentation of the Iraqi marshlands, drained by Saddam Hussein in the 1990s, confirmed in 2016 that they had been restored to approximately 58% of their original extent. The water is returning to the threshold of the oldest shrine ever built. The Sar cycle says the window is measurable in current lifetimes. The physical threshold at Eridu says the condition is being met. The tablets do not give us a date on a modern calendar. They give us a framework, a cycle, a condition, and a question in present tense that assumes the answer is still findable. A 5,000-year-old clay prism, sitting in Oxford, encoding a mathematical system so precise, so internally consistent, that every pre-flood rain length divides exactly by 3,600. Not approximately, not roughly, exactly. The Sumerians did not build their most important historical document on random numbers. They built it on the Sar cycle, the same cycle that measures divine presence, the same cycle that marks the departure, the same cycle that implies the return. Whether you read that as astronomy, as theology, or as something we do not yet have a precise framework for, the mathematics is in the clay. It has been there for 5,000 years, and it is asking a question the Erra Epic already asked in present tense. Where are they? If this video opens something in you, subscribe to the Shadow Ancestral right now. Leave a comment. Do you think the Sar cycle is encoding a literal timeline, or something else entirely? Share this with someone who thinks ancient mathematics has nothing to say about today. The shadow has more to show you. The numbers in the clay. It has always been there. Do the math.